Namaste, Jai Bharat. One of my professors, he's from South, he came to teach in North, used to say in the class that the greatest tribute you can offer to a philosopher is to offer him criticism. That was very instructive expression from Dr. Daniel, my teacher. Unfortunately, he is no more. I think he is from Chennai. Unfortunately, he is no more. He says, the greatest tribute or respect you can offer to a philosopher is to offer him criticism. Similarly, I got a comment from a very meaningful lady, because to ask that question, it simply means that she thinks and she thought and she reacted and she put it into words. She was trying to say that the concept of Naraka is akin to the European concept of hell. She made a narrative. She did a good study. Actually, people should be like that. Should work and then say. One should say. I always say, like the Mimamsaka thinkers, one should say things which one thinks is correct. One may be wrong or right, that is secondary. But then, so long as one is convinced or one feels that this is all right, you should say. Then you don't have to please anyone by hiding what you feel. So that way I appreciate that comment. Previous occasion also, she used to put comment in my videos. So today I thought I'll discuss about the comment which she made. Naraka and hell, I was trying to say they are not one and the same. In fact, they are entirely different. She quotes from many things, from Puranas and two Smritis. Of course, Smritis don't really support that, but the Puranas talk about multiple hells. The two Smritis which she was mentioning was, one was Manu Smriti and the second one is Yajnavalkya Smriti. They both say that there are 21 hells and 28 hells in the Puranas, Bhagavata Purana, Vishnu Purana, etc. So there are Puranas, there are Smritis and Shrutis. This is one aspect of our knowledge tradition, which is the Veda Upanishadic knowledge tradition, as I always used to say. Then she also projected another narrative about, when I was speaking about Daitya, Danava, etc. She was talking about the Kashyapa Maharshi and Daksha Prajapati and Aditi, Danu, Kashyapa Maharshi's children. Now, these are all very, she has done it, and good. I really should thank her for coming up with thoughts. But I would express what I think as convincing to me, or what I think is correct. Now, agreeing or disagreeing doesn't make any difference. You should only agree to what you think or what you can accept as correct. That's up to you. That is the open-endedness in the Veda Upanishadic knowledge tradition. Nothing is fixed as an end. Nobody should say this is right and that is wrong. That's another big mistake, to say that this is right is one kind of position, but when you say I am right and you are wrong, that's atrocious. That's what in fact many people do. Let it be. So here, good narrations, good men. I would like to say, first of all, Kashyapa Maharshi, when the narrative comes that he is marrying 13 women, Daksha Prajapati's children, and having so many children, that's one kind of narrative. When the narrative says, let's not, even in Manu, let us not take it literally. Kashyapa is a Gotra. Kashyapa Maharshi is Kashyapa Maharshi, fine. But then Kashyapa also is a Gotra, where there are multiple individuals, many people. And then speaking things poetically, often rhetorically, and to the extent of enigmatically, is a method people used to do in ancient Bharatiya knowledge tradition, because many things can't be straight spoken. They have to be spoken in a different manner in order to carry the meaning completely. See, we in Aristotle, in Western logic, Aristotelian logic rather, there's a method of proving in the opposite manner, which is called reductio ad absurdum. In simple terms, I will say reductio method is this. Suppose I wanted to prove that this is daytime. The easiest method, practically that's very correct. The easiest method is to prove that this is daytime through a negative method, which is to say that this is night is contradictory. One way of looking at it is to say that a daytime is nighttime becomes contradictory or self-contradictory. That's one method. Then another thing is that it's same principle, reductio. Take the opposite of it. That is, take this is daytime. Take the concept of night and say that at this contact, at this time, to say that this is night becomes self-contradictory. And this is a method called reducing to absurdity. Reducing to absurdity, that is reductio ad absurdum. That's a method many people are using it later, especially even Karl Popper was trying to use the principle of reductio. That is actually easy to prove, and effectively it proves because it gives only one alternative. So, to say that there are so many narratives at the same time, fine. Now, Manusmriti speaks of so many 21 hells, I suppose. That's what she says. I have to look through that. I don't remember that aspect. Now, that word hell should not be used because the word hell has an established meaning as where in the Semitic sense. Naraka can be many. How do you understand it? Like the principle of reductio, the Vedaparishadik knowledge method and extension of which we see through the Puranas and the Smritis, Shrutis, etc., you have a method of not speaking directly, because the indirect speaking becomes more effective than speaking directly for multiple reasons. That's a little complicated. Now, there can be narratives, multiple hells, multiple kinds of sufferings, or multiple kinds of lawlessness. For me, it was lawless. And the Daitya concept is not genetical, or the Anava concept is not genetical. It is qualitative, technically connotative. Given these qualities, you are Daitya. Given these qualities, you are this. And given these qualities, you are Devta. Now, Devi Devta, deities, she was abusing Devarajendra. Fine, she has the right to say that. She is abusing Devarajendra. I will not say for what. It's there in the comment. They are not gods in capital letters. Devta is not gods. Now, it's very interesting. You have plenty of narratives in front of you. It's up to you to find what is convincing to you. The story of Daksha Prajapati. There are so many such narratives. The point is that one should not take it literally, and also don't take it for granted, because they have a purpose to make such narratives. If I say something about gods and goddesses, quoting Shankaracharya, I don't exactly remember the quote. Shankara says that the deities, that is small g, gods, goddesses, they are like steps of a ladder. Now, what is the use and purpose of a ladder? A ladder is used for, one uses a ladder to go up, climb up, because he just can't reach all on a sudden. He has to go stage by stage, step by step. There are some multiple deities. There's a 33 crores, but no one has a list. That's a narrative. No one has a list. So that you use them to climb up to a higher level. Steps of ladder. And when you, if at all, it's not easy for all to reach. When you reach the higher place, you will realize that the ladder itself was an illusion, Maya. The ladder was a Maya. So this is a kind of narrative. So how you can be serious with narratives? At what stage your knowledge going up? Your knowledge level is at what stage? All these things are certain things. You see, something in Guruvani, the Sikh Guru Granth Sahib, A be such O be such. This is also true. That's also true. And there are, in fact, most of the occasions are like that. It's true now, and later it may not be true, or it is true or correct at this context. At a different context, it may not be correct. So the right, abstract wrong. No, let's not be very ambitious of taking it as granted. There can be abstractly, perfectly, absolutely correct, absolutely incorrect. These things one should be little careful about. Now, there are many narratives. One can talk about multiple hells. Multiple Narakas. I should not use the word hell, because hell has an established meaning, as I already told. Multiple Narakas. Distinctly different from one another, for distinct occasions, for different occasions, and different contexts, and for different people of different stages of mental stages, levels. Swarga, there is no reference. She has not mentioned Swarga. In fact, she was saying that Indra is not a good character, dishonest character. Yes, he has expressed some character, but then behind it there is a reason for. Everything has a reason behind. One has to understand it. There are multiple narratives kept in front of you for you to choose, depending on your level of consciousness. Let me call it as level of consciousness. You look at the Rig Veda, see. There's an Asadiya Sukta in Rig Veda. There's an Asadiya Sukta. There's a Vak Sukta. And so many things. And they present different things. One gets confused until one is guided by a teacher. That is where Sri Aurobindo, finally, when he was when he was writing that book, Secret of the Vedas, and towards the end he said, no, one has to go to the teacher, go learn it from a guru, because there cannot be a universal interpretation of Vedas, because for the built-in dynamism of the Vedic Suktas, they keep changing their meanings, and given the context and person. So, there is a Nasadiya Sukta. There are also multiple other Suktas. And the beginning itself is Agni Purohito. There is Agnihotra. All those things. Now, at different levels, different things are to be told differently to different people. These kinds of narratives of Daksha Prajapati, having this thing, gods, goddesses getting married, having children, all those things, they are to be taken as narratives which is immensely and extremely meaningful for one at a given stage of his growth, mental growth. And after that, you will understand, borrowing Shankaracharya, these things were Maya. Now you look at Shankaracharya himself. He lived only for 32 years. And of course that's a different complex situation. He was not in support of ritualism. But he explicitly did not object to ritualism by people. Because in all likelihood, as I understand, he understood that for that person or those people, ritualism makes sense, is meaningful. And for some other people like Maharshi Charvaka, Ritualism does not make any sense. Would not make any sense. The difference between Shankaracharya and Charvaka is so subtle and so interesting that Charvaka speaks things cut and right. Charvaka speaks things openly, explicitly, unpolished, bluntly. Shankara puts it beautifully, rhetorically. Ultimately, they would, as I understand, ultimately they would not disagree. Let me not say agree. They would not disagree on many points. Charvaka Maharshi says that, don't forget, Maharshi Charvaka says that Punarjanmam na vidyate. Shankaracharya doesn't speak anything. He keeps quiet. But the same Shankaracharya, at times, he murmured Aham Nirishwaro. He wrote Saundarya Lahari. Thousands slokas. It may look like a contradiction, beyond comprehension, but not really contradiction and not really beyond comprehension, because these, I told you, one should look at it as different levels of mind. Or, as he himself would say, you are climbing through the ladder and going up and up in different stages. So there can be plenty of narratives meant for people with such requirement. There can be other knowledge tradition for people with such requirement. Now, I don't want to say this is higher and that is not higher, but multiple people, different people having different mental requirements. One thing we used to discuss in classes, that suppose the Vedic Acharya is teaching to 10 students sitting in front the same Vedic Sukta. How would he interpret it from person 1 to person 10? In all likelihood, he may have to give the meaning or give the impression from the Vedic Sukta, or he may have to unpack the Vedic Sukta to all the 10 different students in 10 different manners. Then only that would make sense to him. The purpose is to give, purpose is that this information should turn into knowledge, into his mind, through affecting him. Then it has to be tuned in such a manner that would make sense to him, so that it will make parivartan. It would refine him. So it may be. I used to tell that in all likelihood, 10 people or 10 students will be taught differently, although they are sitting together. And although the teacher, the Acharya, Vedic Acharya, is one and the same person, and although you are the same Sukta we are discussing. So that is the situation. That is the dynamism of Veda-Upanishadic knowledge tradition, and that is what makes it unending, open-ended. Unending in the sense of open-ended. You are free to interpret it at any point, at any moment, in any manner. So, when you think the narrative of Puranas meaningful to you, of course they are meaningful to you. For you, it is right. Ye bhi sach hai, like Gurbani. Then, when you go to Vedas, they say so many things, and when you go to Upanishads, they say so many things again. That is correct at one stage with a given mental requirement, which in Upanishad would be called as Sthayi Bhava. So all these narratives are there for you to choose. My professor said pick and choose. I would say choose and pick. You select what makes meaningful to you, and suddenly you find that is not sufficient. You wanted to go to a different interpretation. Put it down and take that. This kind of infinite freedom is there. The command presupposes a confusion or overlapping, maybe not overlapping of the a typical Semitic concept of hell with the fineries of the narratives of Naraka. I was summing up saying that it is lawlessness that makes Naraka. I thought that it would be safe to say that without going to explain further. That is not needed, because the purpose is entirely different. to give a glimpse of understanding. No understanding is final. No knowledge is final. There's no end knowledge. Nobody tells you I'm right and you're wrong, or nobody should say. If you say that I am right and you're wrong, then you don't carry the spirit of the Bharati knowledge tradition. There are multiple rights. Let us look at a phenomenal world with the concept of multiple rightness. Again, Guru Bani, Guru Granth Sahib, A be such, O be such. This is correct, that is right. This is correct, that is correct. And the right and wrong is not absolute, or don't take it as abstract. Anyway, thank you for that interesting comment. That would make me speak. So I would again quote Dr. Daniel too. He is no more, unfortunately. Great teacher, great teacher, great teacher. Complicated things, he makes it so simple. And he used to act in films, he told, but no, I don't know. Never saw. He used to tell. He used to act in movies, stuntman, etc. He used to be a weightlifter also. That's what he said. He says that there is no absolute right and absolute wrong. Things, perception should vary. That is variety, dynamism, creativity. So till we meet again, thank you for the comment once more. Thank you very much, and Namaste, Jai Bharat, and Jai Sri Ram.